Welcome back to another video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Today I want to talk about the importance of being intentional whenever you're out and about, especially if you're looking to build meaningful relationships. These are things that have worked for me, and I'm sharing them with you because they might work for you as well. If you're new here, my name is Johnny, and on this channel I share my self-improvement journey so you can learn from my experiences and level up your life. With that said, let's get started. I normally talk a lot about the importance of building skills if you want to increase your income potential, but at the end of the day, whether it's work, entertainment, hobbies, whatever it is, it all comes down to people. And the quality of the experience you're gonna have is gonna depend on the quality of your relationships with these people. For example, I'm pretty sure there's a few restaurant spots that you frequently go to, but how's your relationship with these venues? Do you know the names of all the staff members, the names of the bartenders? Do they know your name? Having an established presence is a huge asset that will significantly affect the experience you're gonna have, whether that's by yourself or if you're in a group. Think of how different your experience is whenever you show up to a place and you just hang out in the background versus when you're actively participating in it. Just imagine you show up with a date to one of these places. Think of the impact it'll have on your partner or whoever you're there with if the staff know your name, they greet you when you come in, it'll automatically give you a status boost. You might get an extra appetizer or you might even get a free glass of wine. You never know. But these are options that are generally not on the table unless you've made the effort to build and establish a relationship with the people who work at that location. And I'm not saying that you should go out and be collecting people, just be intentional and have conversations. And I'm not saying you should go out and be collecting people, but you have to be intentional. If you live in a city and there's certain spots that you frequently go to, doesn't just have to be restaurants, say your gym, it could be a spa if you go to one. Take time to connect with those people, have conversations, and let them know who you are and get to know them. Most people are robots nowadays. They just go in, they want the service and want to get out. But you stand out when you take time to greet a person, call them by their name, ask them how their day is going. Those little things really stick out in people's heads. That's why I always stress to be cordial whenever you go somewhere. Doesn't matter with the service, always tip regardless of the service. And one of the first things you should do every time you go to somewhere new is ask for the person's name. Anyone you talk to, always ask for the name and call them by their name. That's the sweetest sound a person can hear, the sound of their own name. This is something that I make an effort to do, especially if I'm out by myself, and I've had a few opportunities come my way. For example, my kickboxing coach is planning on moving on to do his own thing. Initially, I started working with him through the gym, but we've built a relationship, we built a friendship, and now as he's leaving, I can work directly with him and he's able to charge me less, and I pay all the money directly to him, and it ends up being a win-win situation. But this opportunity might not have presented itself if I had not built a relationship with him. Another example, I typically go to get a sports massage once a month, and the therapist I work with is also planning on moving on to do her own thing. And she also gave me the contact information so that when she decides to leave, I can also go and work with her. And I'll also have the benefit of being charged less while she's gonna make the entirety of the profit. Another opportunity that wasn't on the table, but me being intentional and being nice and just having a conversation allowed that to present itself. One thing I personally do, this is one of the ways I like to tip, is especially for the bartenders, I do this. Instead of adding the tip when I close out the check, I give the tip personally in cash to the bartender because they're the ones who serve me, and that usually stands out a lot more than me adding an extra 20% on the ticket. I give them, let's say $20, I give them a $20 bill to them personally. That stands out more than adding the tip on the check. If you have trouble remembering people's names, make a list. Literally, I have a list where I keep track of places I've been to or want to go to, and I have a set of contacts at that place just so I always make sure I remember people's names the next time I go there, because you never know how much time is gonna go by between each visit. That's something I like to brush up on. Just take a look, who works here? Oh, I know this person. So when you go in, they feel good when you show up and you remember the name. Now, I want to stress that you should not be going out looking to always get something back. The goal is to have a normal conversation that just flows naturally, and whatever happens, happens. Just remember to be intentional about it. Another thing you could do, you show up by yourself at a bar. What I do, I look for people who appear to be by themselves and see if they have a seat next to them that's available. I ask if that seat is available. If they say no, I'll look elsewhere. If they say yes, I'll sit there. And that's my standard opening is always to ask, are you here by yourself? Some people are receptive to having a conversation. Other people just want to be left alone. That's fine. It's just, you got to put yourself out there. And sometimes you have to create opportunities for interaction. You can't just wait for them to happen. And the beauty of this is that it also translates to other areas of your life as well. You'll see yourself improve in striking conversations with strangers. You'll improve your ability to communicate with your co-workers or your managers, with your customers, because you've gotten comfortable with social interactions, because you're always selling yourself. And if you present yourself as someone who's energetic, enthusiastic, and positive, that's going to create a strong, lasting impression on people that you're starting to meet. To wrap it up, I'm going to leave you guys with a quote that my mentor drilled into my head. And he said to always make an effort to be the highlight of someone else's day. And that's the mind frame I take whenever I go out and I'm gonna be interacting with people. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. If you have not yet done so, click a like and subscribe. That helps out the channel. Continue to level up, and I'll see you in the next one.